Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is Yankee and the Brit Sports Talk. And today, we're going to give you our power rankings coming out of Week 17 going into Week 18. Maddie, there was a lot of craziness in the NFL, but a lot of playoff spots got locked up. Not necessarily the seeding, but definitely like a lot. I think in the NFC, there's only one spot that could even be open. And in the AFC, it's one or two. I can't remember for sure that could even move around. But for the most part, we know who's going to be in.
Yeah, the 8th seed is the one that's free in the NFC. And all the other seeds can move around apart from the top spot. It's only the 8th seed. That is right, isn't it?
7th.
Yeah, 7th. There we go. Thank you. I'm begging for more playoff teams. I'm begging for more playoffs.
And the Packers locked in the number one.
The Packers locked in the number one, and then in the AFC, I'm pretty sure they can all move around and nobody knows who the fuck's top or whatever, but there's 2 spots left to claim.
Well, and the Titans should have that because if they lose to the fucking Jags, there's a problem. But
yeah.
All right, Maddie, let's just start out at number 10 like we always do. And I have the New England Patriots at number 10. They've came down my list some. I still think they're really good and doing a lot more than I thought they would this year. I don't think any team wants to end up seeing them in the playoffs, but I do think they've came down some, and I think teams are figuring out more of their weaknesses, so they're number 10.
Yeah, understandable pick. I mean, it's mad to say somebody goes down 10 after walking a team by goes down after walking a team by 40 points, but I mean, if you walk the Jags by 40 points, then at number 10, I have the Indianapolis Colts falling in my list due to the fact that Carson Wentz is reckless as shit and he's their quarterback. It doesn't necessarily mean that I don't think they're a fantastic team and will climb back up, but they fall out of the race for the AFC South. The AFC South gets clinched. And Carson Wentz is still their quarterback and he's still doing stupid shit.
Yes, I had the Colts fall out of my top 10. They are no longer in my top 10, so I have no problem with your pick there. For me, the team at number 9 replaced them in my top 10, and that is the Buffalo Bills.
Wow. Okay, so here's my surprise omission. Even after winning, the Buffalo Bills have fallen out of my top 10 because I didn't think they looked that good. And I looked at the other teams and I thought, these guys probably deserve to be on there more. That doesn't mean that they're not a top team in the NFL in terms of talent and things like that. I'm sure they'll be on next week if they walk somebody and things like that. I just couldn't look and I couldn't fit them on. They're 11th. I couldn't fit them onto my into my list.
I feel like they're moving in a better direction than the Colts. As much as I've been on the Colts bandwagon, I'll still be cheering for the Colts. So for me, the Bills got to move in. The reason I moved the Pats down is because after that, not too long ago, they just beat up on them. So for me, the Bills jump in to my top 10 at number 9. And I see more out of them than the Colts right now, even though I think the Colts have a better recipe for success in the playoffs.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. I've actually got the New England Patriots in at number 9. I couldn't force it. I agree with you. I agree that the Bills the Bills beat up on them, but I couldn't take them off my list after beating somebody by 40 points. Like, it's still the NFL. If you beat anybody, I know I just said it's the Jags. I mean, does it matter? But to beat anybody by 40 points, this is not college. This is professional sport.
No, I don't have a problem with the Pats at 9 because, like I said, I got them at 10, so that's not too far off. For me, at number 8, your Dallas Cowboys. I have them coming down because...
For me... Sorry, man.
Oh, no, Go ahead. What were you saying?
So for me, at number 8, I have my Dallas Cowboys. I
think,
yeah, they've put themselves in that's fallen down from 3. They've put themselves in a ridiculously weak spot by that loss. It's that loss. Not all losses are equal, and that loss was certainly not equal because of the sticky situation it puts them in to get through to the Super Bowl now, whereas the teams above them, I don't think are more talented than them, and I don't think that at all. So when I go through this list and there's teams on there that the Cowboys are more talented than, I just think they've probably got an easier road to the Super Bowl due to the fact that where the Cowboys ended up because of that loss. And in that loss, I saw something from Dak Prescott that I haven't seen before, and that's him playing frantic. And I don't like that at all.
No, you said everything I was going to say. And so there ain't no point to be. I just shocked you had him down that far. For me, at number 7, one that I'm probably going to get hammered for, because how do you put the number 1 seed in the AFC at number 7? But it's because they were low on my list before. They're climbing back up. I like what they're doing. When King Henry comes back, if he's looking healthy, that would be a different story. But again, I mean, I like what they're doing, but are they blowing you away? Are they making you go, oh, this is a Super Bowl championship team? They're not. I think they look better beginning of the year. And yeah, they just pulled out an ass whooping of the Dolphins. But if you listen to our podcast, you know I think the Dolphins are falling apart from the inside out. And it's not due to talent. It's due to something else.
We promised that we don't talk about our rankings before this. But number 7, entering the list, and the reason that the Bills had to fall out, I have the Tennessee Titans as well. The Tennessee Titans have just got themselves into an absolutely awesome spot where they've got the like, I don't know how they've done this, and I didn't pick this up, and I'm sure Titans fans will have seen this a mile off and have been joking at us for having them so on the outside looking in. But they're not as talented as the other teams in the AFC. They've just got themselves into a lovely spot where if they beat the Jags, all they've got to do is beat the Jags, and then they've got a bye, which is an extra week before King Henry can return and come in and play some playoff football. So they're the exact opposite of what happened to the Dallas Cowboys, where, yeah, Titans aren't as talented. They have used 50 players, which is the most in the NFL, to get to where they have to be, though, which is only going to help them in a playoff run if they get hit with COVID or injuries or things like that. And they have one of the best coaches in the NFL as well, number 6 probably on both of our lists, Mike Vrabel, doing it for them. And I just see them in a really strong position coming into the playoffs.
No, I think you did a great job again. Like, we need to get it more often. I don't even have to say nothing because you say everything I want to say. So coming in at number 6 is a team that for me can fluctuate. They'll probably make me look like an idiot next week against the Browns for some reason. But number 6, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, a fantastic team climbing up your list. I like to see that. Obviously beat somebody who's going to be towards the top of your list this week as well. For me, at number 6, what looked like falling apart on the sideline to me, and then not looked right, Antonio Brown's former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sitting at number 6. Yeah, it just doesn't look smooth for them. It doesn't look smooth for them at all.
No, I agree. I think the Bucs are having some issues, and I think the Bengals are looking good. So that's why I have them at 6. But like we said, they're young. They're learning how to win. They're learning how to just do. They have games where we shake our head, but the Bucs shouldn't be having games that they make us shake our head, and they are. So I completely agree with you. And we're not that far off, because at number 5, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Which is incredibly weird, because at number 5, I have the Cincinnati Bengals, which is really strange. So we've just switched them around. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, moving them up to number 5, I don't disagree with it all. They have a 44-year-old quarterback who's the greatest of all time.
And mine's going down.
Yeah, mine's going down as well. But they have a 44-year-old quarterback who isn't he leading the NFL in yards or touchdowns and things like that? I need to get my fact sheet out more often. I have it. It's in the other room, which is infected with COVID at the minute. So I'm not going in there to go get it. No, it's okay. She's fine. She's okay. So
it's the way you said it that made me laugh, not the COVID, but yeah.
We can joke because she's fine, but my notepad is infected at the minute. So I don't have my list of stats, but I know Tom Brady is towards the top in yards, in yards and in touchdowns, and obviously one of the greatest to do it in terms of fourth quarter comebacks.
Okay, well, at number 4, for me, I have a team that I was really high on and it's now making me start to question, and that is the Rams.
Wow. Yeah, the Rams obviously starting to come down. Their quarterbacks playing reckless football. We spoke about it in our last podcast. And if your quarterback's playing reckless football, how are you going to expect to go into the playoffs? I mean, saying all that, they are in your top four, which clearly means you see them as a Super Bowl contender, and that's largely down to the stars that they have all over the field.
Yeah, Stafford's just making me nervous. I feel like he's not playing with the way I thought he would. Not that he's at the bottom of the league or anything like that. I just thought more was coming from him. And I thought that the last couple of weeks, I've watched him make some really bad decisions, and it makes me nervous going into. If it was week 2 or 3, it's one thing, but it's week 17. You shouldn't be making those bad decisions at this point.
He is a freak in the fourth quarter, of course, which is always going to help. And number 4 for me, climbing the list after a fantastic win in the house that Kyler Murray built, the AT&T Stadium, the Arizona Cardinals. Did you know that Kyler Murray is undefeated in all games in the AT&T Stadium? I think that makes him 11-0.
Yeah, I only heard that on the was it Troy Aikman? Whoever said it, but yeah, I only heard it
in high school, in college, and all of that kind of shit. He's 11-0 in in games at the AT&T Stadium. A terrifying thing considering he's in the NFC, and we might have to play them again in the AT&T Stadium coming up. But yeah, the Arizona Cardinals starting to move up the list. I was worried that the wheels were kind of starting to fall off over there, like they have in previous seasons, but they didn't look amazing, but they played a very, very solid game this week. And that's something that you want to see from that young Arizona Cardinals team. They don't have to be electric all the time. They can just sometimes win a solid game.
I have them at number 3, and it's because they don't have some of their best players. Some of their best players are coming back. Yes, they stunk it up for a little portion of the season. Kyler Murray looks like he's back to running the ball, waiting for D-Hop to come back. So I got them right now at number 3. I think it says more about the teams below them, though, than maybe it says about them themselves, because some of the teams below them, like we said, the Titans, what's going to happen? The Bengals, you know what I mean? So it's a lot with those teams, but I have the Cardinals at number 3.
It's been a weird season, obviously, because of COVID. I think like Florio and Sim said something like COVID is making this season almost it's questioning the integrity of the league this season. And it's like, well, no, if you just have the best built roster and the best built team and the best coaching staff, then you'll get through it. And it's causing a lot of teams to kind of go up and down. And these power rankings have shifted a lot this year. For me, at number 3, I have the LA Rams. I think that's just because Odell Beckham's starting to make some big plays for them in spots where they need to get the plays done. Matt Stafford, although being reckless, is making the plays to win the game when they have to get them to win the game. They've got a resemblance of a run game going for the first portion of this season now. And their defense is starting to play lights out. Von Miller looked really good yesterday, as well as obviously Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. Although punching your own teammate seems to be a trend for the last 2 weeks in the NFL. That's not something that we've talked about yet.
Yeah, that's a weird shit. Jalen Ramsey's a hothead. He's gotten to some fights in Jacksonville, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that doesn't worry me at all. I'm sure that'll just blow over. I'm not too worried about that. It's just weird to see teammate striking teammate.
I oddly didn't see this coming, but we have the same top 2, maybe in the same order. At number 2, I got the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, number 2, I have the Kansas City Chiefs as well. Getting beat in a fantastic game. I'm not going to...
What can we do?
Like, I'm not gonna drop them for that. Like, sometimes just Mahomes played an absolutely insane game. Like, I was posting everywhere, like that meme of Maximus Decimus Aurelius in Gladiator going, "Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?" Like, honestly, like that's one of the best games that we've seen all year. Mahomes playing lights out. Joe Burrow's just in a ridiculous hot streak, and Jamar Chase is a freak. And then, although I believe the refereeing calls were legitimate at the end of the game and were all the right calls, there's also nothing that they could have done about them in the other respect anyway. If they didn't make them, then the Bengals would have won the game as well. So yeah, weird.
How
So
do you
they're
even
after a
move the
loss.
Packers after that ass whooping they put on the Vikings last night? No matter what, they clinched the 1 seed. They're playing well. We've had the Packers up at the top. So for me, I don't think I have to give you the 25 reasons why I have them at the top, because I am so sick of praising the Packers. It makes me sick inside. But Green Bay Packers, number one.
Yeah, the NFC goes through Lambeau Fields, and that stadium just has a different effect to all the other stadiums in the league, really, when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's the one stadium you don't really want to go up and play up to. The
And I know
NFC
you've never
goes
been
through
there,
Lambeau.
but it's the only NFL stadium that has bleacher seating, like just a straight bench. Like, dude, you can't afford seats. Like, come on, man, my ass is on a metal bench with 3 people this close to me. Okay, I'm
Does it not
done.
make the fans? Honestly, I love shit like that. I think it makes the fans louder, jump around more to keep themselves warm. I think that's the tactic behind it. I think it's all that old school feel as well. But the fact that the NFC goes through Lambeau Fields is obviously going to put the Green Bay Packers at the top of any power ranking, because they're in the strongest position in the NFC, which is the better league this season by the top tier, by the full thing of teams, really.
Yeah, and if you guys stay at 4 and you win, you got to go to Lambeau for your second game. That makes it rough.
Yeah, bring it. Honestly, it's better than Aaron Rodgers playing in AT&T. that guy in AT&T is a freak.
That was his first game. He came in for Brett Favre, but yeah.
I'd honestly rather play Aaron Rodgers in the freezing cold of Lambeau Fields than playing him anything that resembles to a dome, because that arm in Lambeau Fields is difficult enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and cold can throw anybody off. And I know people they're used to it. Aaron Rodgers has said many times there's no way you can get used to being that cold.
Yeah, 100%. But he's more used to it than the Dallas Cowboys and the LA Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe not the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe they're one of the only teams that could probably hack that kind of cold. Like, honestly, the NFC having to go through Green Bay is the worst case scenario for most of those playoff teams.
That's definitely true. Well, there you have it, guys. There's our top 10. You can come hit us up on why we're wrong on our power rankings. I'm sure some Cowboy fan will be pissed at me by the time this whole thing's over.
This will be in the Cowboy group as soon as it gets uploaded. We will be getting so much fucking hate. I'm a Cowboys fan, I promise. And I'm not one of those bad ones that says that Dak's the worst player ever. But hey, we appreciate the interactions anyway.
All right, guys, check us out on Spotify, YouTube, and all that other good shit. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.